Hey everybody, it's Mr. Greg here with another quick fun how-to video. This is a request that I had. Somebody had requested that I make a quick video to show you how I make the recording sheets that I use in my hippopotamus and center activities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I create my recording sheets. It's really actually pretty simple. I'm going to show you in Keynote first because that's what I use. Then I'm going to show you how to do it in PowerPoint. So we're going to start with Keynote. So you're just going to open Keynote. And really, I try to keep my recording sheets as simple as possible. So open Keynote, I'm going to click on a new document and it's going to open. And I always just pick the blank white My Presentation. And the thing about what I like most about Keynote is that it's so easy. Like if you have a Mac or if you've considered going for a Mac, go for it. It's so easy. All right, so open your presentation and then I always get rid of this stuff because I don't need it. So I'm starting with just a blank slide. The first thing I do is insert a border around the page, and the easiest way and the simplest way that I do it, and I like to kind of keep it pretty simple, is I go up to the top up here and I click shape and it pulls up this menu, this box. I'm going to click on the square and you get this little blue square. So then what I do is I move the blue square pretty close to the edge, but not all the way. Then grab it and expand pretty much all the way to the bottom, so it's filling up your whole, almost your whole entire slide. Then you come over here to where it says fill. It's over here on the right. Click that and you get all these options, and I just go down to no fill. So then you have a blank shape. Then I go down here to border and I click line. And then under line you have these options, so you can do squares, dashes, bigger dashes, circles, scribbles. I usually pick the dashes. And then you can make, if you wanted it to be in color, you could pick a color. And then you can come over here and you can click up and down to change the size of the border. All right, so then my border's inserted. So then I come back up to the top and I click text. So it'll insert a text box, and I'm going to move that up here. I'm going to make it a little bigger. And then the first thing I always do is put a place for the name. And I come over here and I'm going to change my font to whatever the font you're going to use. I'll pick the one that I almost always use for my creations, from Darcy Baldwin Fonts. Okay. So then I just made the font a little smaller. So there I've got my name box inserted. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select that box and I'm going to hit Command C. That's going to copy it, and then Command V, and it pasted. Super simple. And I'm going to slide that over to the other side, and those are going to be my directions. So I would type in my directions for what I want the kids to do and what they're going to do on the recording sheet. Then I'm going to hit Command V again. I'm going to paste that box again, and I'm going to drag it to the middle. And that's where I'm going to put the title of the recording sheet. And I always try to make the title the same as what I've called the hippopotamus or the center to help keep things organized. So I'm just going to give it a fun title, How to Make a Recording Sheet. And then I come over here to the fonts again, and I like this Darcy Baldwin font called Standardized Test. It makes the little circles, and if I need to, I can adjust the font size on that. And so now I've got a border, I've got a place for the name, I've got the directions, I've got a name or a title. So then you have a couple of options as far as the space that you want the kids to record their learning in. The easiest way and the simplest way, and the way I try to do most of the time, is I come up here to insert table at the top. You're going to get all of these options. And I click the arrow to slide to the right until I see this option that's a gray square. And I click that, and it's going to insert this table. So again, I'm going to move that table. Then I'm going to come down to the bottom and I'm going to grab that and enlarge the table. Then I'm going to come back over here to the right side. At the top, you've got some options. I'm going to click Cell. Then I'm going to come down to where it says Fill. And again, I'm going to do No Fill. So it's just an empty table. Then you've got border styles. And I always click on the grid. And then I set it to black so that the lines are black. So there's the easiest way to do a recording sheet. So then what I would do is I would insert a text box. And let's say the hippopotamus, the pieces are numbered. So I would do numbers. So I would say number 1. So they would know this is where they're going to write number 1. If they were letters, if it was like card A, I would just make it an A. If I need more columns or more rows in my table in Keynote, you just select the table. And on the right side, there's a little button and you click it. And you can increase the number of spaces in your table. You can do vertical, the columns or the rows. So depending on if you need more or less. All right. And so then that's it. And so really it's all about just kind of inserting the shapes in the tables. That's the easiest way to do your recording sheet. And then I always save it as a PDF. So I would go up here to File. In Keynote, it's Export. So File, Export to, and then I choose PDF. And that's how I make my recording sheets. Now, let me get rid of this. Let's say we're going to be doing some winter stuff, some snow. And let's say I wanted the kids to write their answers. Let's say I wanted to make it a little more fun and not just a plain blank table. So I could actually, sometimes I'll insert clip art for the kids to do their writing in. Let's see. So let's say we're doing winter. And I want the kids to, let's say we're doing mittens or hats for winter, and I want the kids to write their answers in a hat. So I would come to my clip art, I would find the clip art that I want. With Keynote, you can just drag that clip art in and kind of drop it, and there it is. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize that to make it not gigantic and position it. And then let's say I want to number them. So I would say, I would insert my text box, make it a number 1. And then of course I want to come back over here to the right and click on text and then resize to make it a little smaller. Then I'm going to put that in there. And then I can select the hat. I'm going to hold down the command button because I'm on a Mac. On a PC it would be control. Then I'm going to hit command or control C, command or control V, and I'm going to copy it. Then I'm going to change that to a 2. And then I would just continue that on until the whole thing is filled up. And sometimes what I'll do is once I get several of the clip art images in there, I'll select all 3 of them and copy and paste so it goes a little bit faster. And then a lot of times I have to play around with the layout to make sure that I'm getting, let's say I need 20 hats. Sometimes the sizing might be off, so I'll have to reduce the size or make the size bigger. And then you have to play around and figure out how many in each row, how many columns, so you can make sure you get everything to fit. And then again, you go to File, Export to PDF. So that's how I make recording sheets using clip art instead of a table. So that's in Keynote. So let me close out of Keynote. And I'll show you how to do it in PowerPoint. And you'll have to bear with me because I'm not very good with PowerPoint anymore because I don't use it very frequently. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to open PowerPoint. And again, I'm using a Mac, so it's going to look a little different. Some of the controls might be a little different, but they're still pretty similar. All right, so I'm going to click, so it pulled out the PowerPoint dialog box, and I'm just going to click the white again. So it's going to open up in PowerPoint. And again, I'm going to get rid of these 2 things. All right, and I'm basically going to do the same thing. I'm going to insert a border around the page. So I'm going to click Insert up here at the top. I'm going to click Shape. I'm going to pick a rectangle. And then unlike Keynote, this on PowerPoint, you have to actually draw the shape. So I'm just going to draw my shape in. And again, not the full slide, but pretty close. So there it is. Then I'm going to go to, I'm going to right click. And I'm going to go down here and select Format Shape. It's going to pull up this box. What I'm going to do is where it says Color. It's already on Fill, Color. I'm going to click that and click No Fill. Then I'm going to come over here to where it says Line. I'm going to click where it says Color and select Black. And then I'm going to, at the top it says Solid, Gradient, Weights and Arrows. I'm going to click Weights and Arrows, and it's going to give me the option to do Style. So I can select how thick I want my frame to be. Then it says Dashed, so I can click and select what kind of dash I want. And when I'm done, I'm going to click OK. So there's my border. And then I'm going to go and do text. So I'm going to insert a text box. And again, unlike Keynote with PowerPoint, you actually have to draw the box in. I'm going to write name. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to highlight name. And I'm going to right click and hit font. And it's going to pull up my fonts. And then I'll just kind of scroll through and pick the font that I want. I'm just going to pick one from, let's pick a fun one from Kara Carroll at the first grade parade. She has the best names for her fonts. So there's the name. Then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select that text box, Command or Control C, Command or Control V. It's going to copy it. I'm going to move it over here. That's where the directions would go. And again, I'm going to hit Command or Control V. Move that out of my way. And then we're going to have the box in the middle for the title. How to make a recording sheet. So there's my recording sheet. And again, depending on if I want something pretty simple, I'm going to come up here and do Insert at the top. Then I'm going to click Table. And it's going to ask me how many columns and how many rows. So I'm just going to say 5 columns, 4 rows. So it's going to put in my table, move it a little bit, grab the corner to resize. And then up here along the top, you see all of these options for what you want it to look like as far as like the colors. And so you have to find this one right here. There are 2 that are completely white, but one of them, if you click it, your table goes away because it's all white. On the other one, if you click it, you end up with the lines. So there's your table. And again, I would do the same thing. I would either insert a text box, or if you want to, do quick, I would just select one of the text boxes that I've already done. Command C, Command V. So copy and paste. You've got your text box. I would drag it over here. I'm gonna make it 1. And there's my recording sheet. And so I'm just gonna copy and paste. Copy and paste is your best friend when you're making your recording sheets, because so much of it, once you kind of get that basic formatting, like putting in the numbers, it's all copy and paste. Right. So then I would just go ahead and number it. And again, I would go to File at the top, Save As, and I'm going to, down here where it says Format, I'm going to select PDF. And then I'm going to save it as a PDF file. Right. So now let me show you how I would do it with clip art. Let me get rid of some of this. So let's say I want to use my hats again. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab my clip art. I'm going to drag it and drop it. Or you can come up to where it says, up here it says Insert. And you can actually insert a photo or a file if you want to do it that way. Same here at the top right here where it says Picture. You can insert that way. But I like the drag and drop. It's just easier. And then again, I'm going to resize because I don't want it to be huge. So we'll resize, put it where I want. I'm going to get my text box again, so I'm just going to copy and paste. We're going to make this one number 1. And then I'm going to select that because I want to make it a little bit smaller. And to do that in PowerPoint, it's right here at the top in the formatting bar. So I'm just going to resize. And then I would select the clip art and the text box and copy and paste. So I can quickly just copy and paste in as many of those as I need. And again, I'm going to have to play with the formatting, sometimes the layout, to get everything where I need it to be. But that's it. So it really is pretty easy to create the recording sheets. So really it's all about inserting tables or using clip art. Tables are the easiest way to make your recording sheets, and then remember to always save it as a PDF so that you don't lose the formatting. So I hope that helps. As always, if you have questions, you can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. You can email me. So be sure to head over to the blog, check it out, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, guys.